This is where I found a massive red flag. And I knew as soon as I saw this is a huge problem. There has got to be I couldn't believe it actually was happening in front of me with my own eyes, and that I could replicate this issue. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it wasn't real at first. And when I took a second to think about it, I was kind of just punched in the gut, because I'm like, either this is a massive error that needs to be corrected now before everybody loses all their money, or somebody's doing something unscrupulous and shady, and this has to be brought to their attention immediately.
Like listen, you're talking to someone who's been trading 100x futures for 7 years. I know how it works. You don't have to explain longs and shorts to me. You just need to listen to what I'm telling you.
Okay, so you know the mechanism. Okay, but from the market price, that's why it will be executed.
No, that's because you guys have errors. That's not what's happening on the UI. I'm telling you, that's not what's happening on the UI.
Okay.
Hey everyone, how are you? This video is going to be a little different than what I normally do, and the usual kind of educational content that you're used to seeing from Cotton Candy TA. I have spent my entire career building my name, protecting my community, and building software like chart raiders for the day trading industry to try to help change things and to try to help clean up this industry, because the reality is we have got a lot of bad exchanges out there, and we have got a lot of people who are getting taken advantage of by these exchanges. And I recently tried a new exchange. They approached me, asked me to try their exchange. So I was like, okay, sure. You know, I've been using exchanges for a long time. I'm a 100x trader that does it on a regular basis, and I have insane amounts of industry experience, including 3 years of developing my own day trading software with charts, with a team of 30 engineers to create what we call chart raiders, a software that's gamified day trading. So I have a ton of experience in this field, and that's why I'm seeked out to try to find and help do things like test the security levels of exchanges, try to find bugs, flaws in their features, stuff like that. So I had this exchange called BitUnix reach out to me, and they wanted me to test their exchange. So I said, okay, sure. At first, everything seemed cool, but after a little while, I started finding nightmares on their platform, and tried to bring it to their attention, and was met with laughs, being brushed off, them telling me these things don't exist. Even they went as far as saying that, hey, it's probably just a network issue on your side, when I was finding scathing errors that were causing people to lose tons of money, and they skated this and denied it. And I need to share that story with everybody today. I don't typically do this kind of content, but somebody has to put a stop to these exchanges running over innocent people, taking people's monies, having these errors, not taking them seriously, and basically just filling their pockets with user money, and then just disappearing months later. How many times I've seen exchanges in this industry pop up and then completely go away like that? And something has to be done about this. Somebody has to voice up and turn away from all the money that's thrown at people like me and these influencers in this world. And somebody has to take a stance and say, no, you can't pay me off to keep quiet about this. No, you can't. And that's kind of who I am. I've always done this. I've always told exchanges and everybody, like, you can't buy me. I'm not for sale. You can't buy my voice. I don't need your money. If I need money, I go day trade. I don't need your money. I do these things because I enjoy it, because I like building my community. So today I'm going to share with you the demons that I found in the BitUnix exchange. I'm going to give everybody a warning to be very careful with this exchange. Watch this video, see the way they handled these errors that I found, and then to make your own judgment and assessment based on if you should be using this in your list of exchanges that you use, or if this is going on a do not touch list. Because for me, I'm putting this on my don't touch this, take all funds off immediately, never recommend it, and stay as far away from this exchange and anybody associated with it as possible. That is my own personal list that it goes on. And I'm going to just walk through this video of what happened and the way that the exchange handled it. Thankfully, I record all my meetings, so you're going to hear the exchange and the way they dealt with it. You're going to hear my concerns and errors that I brought to their front, and you're going to see for yourself and be able to make your own decision on whether you think this is a good exchange to use or not. All right, so I started noticing problems with this exchange, and I was kind of like, all right, well, they're a new exchange. Maybe they have some bugs and errors in their codes. You know, I'm doing my normal thing. I'm day trading. I would just set my orders as normal. You know, I'm taking my hold levels. I mark a level here, and I'm like, hey, this is a good hold level. And I'm a 100x trader, so like I have to have pretty good accuracy. So when something happens that's off, you don't really have the room to say, oh, hey, oopsies, this was just an exchange error. Like as a 100x trader, your amount of room for error is critical. Like this is already negative 20% in the trade. And if you exit the trade here, you just made 200%. So, you know, if I put $5,000 or $10,000 on this trade and I make 2%, I just made $10,000 or $20,000 of profit, but it's very easy to lose that money too. I don't recommend people do 100x trading unless you're extremely well-versed in this field and know exactly what you're doing. And that's fine. You can go watch my material if you want to do that. But this is, I'm trading on this exchange as normal. And to be fair and fully transparent, they gave me some money to trade on this exchange because they're like, hey, Cotton, do you want to try our exchange and see what you think of it and help us find errors? I'm like, sure, but I'm not doing this with my own money because you guys are a brand new exchange. So you want me to do that, you can give me some funds. I don't care if it's real money, fake money, but you have to set something up so that there's something for me to trade with, because I sure as hell ain't putting my money on a brand new exchange. I'll go trade on one of the more reliable exchanges if that's the case. And there's not most of the exchanges aren't very reliable, but more reliable than someone that's brand new. So they're like, okay, cool, that's fair. We'll give you $10,000 and it's not real money. And if you make profits off of it, you can keep it. And if you don't make profits off it, then that's fine. You don't make profits on it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. They set $10,000 as what they call bonus money in my account. And I did pretty well with it. I turned it into about 50 grand almost. Actually, a little more than 50 grand, 53 or 54 grand. Anyways, not important. What's important is that they gave me $10,000. I get to keep the profits. Cool. Everything's good. So this is where it all starts. I start trading on their exchange and it's all good. I make a few trades. Everything looks good. And I start putting trades on the books and I start marking levels. I'm like, okay, let's take this level. Let's take that level. Let's buy another hold level here. And we're doing good in trades and making good money. And then all of a sudden I start getting these weird errors. Like I would be looking at the charts here and I would say, okay, well, like, look, I want to long this hold level right here. So like this is a hold level. And when price touches it, I want to long. So we're sitting here trying to trade. We set our price here at 50,563 and price is like maybe somewhere around up here. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to be ready for when this hits my level. So, price is ripping up and you're kind of at this candle here, this moment in time. And I set my order. I punch in the price on the side. I set my leverage. I pick $5,000 of leverage. I hit open long. The price is set. I double check. Like, just to be clear, I've been doing this 100x trading for 7 years, publicly streaming it. And I've been trading since 2011, the end of 2011, beginning of 2012. I started taking it seriously. So like, I'm not a brand new trader that makes mistakes. I've probably executed over 500,000 trades in my life on 100x leverage. Like, this isn't something new to me. So it's not like, oopsies, I made a mistake. I'm a brand new trader. No, I do this for a living. I've been teaching it for 7 years in the public eye, right? So at 100x trading, by the way. And so these aren't mistakes I make. And so fine, I'm even willing to say like, okay, maybe I didn't drink enough coffee today. Maybe I made a mistake. But here's what happens. I'm in this trade. I'm not in the trade yet, but you've got prices around here. I set my order. I hit open long. All of a sudden, the screen flickers. I'm like, weird. And I'm now in a trade. I'm in a market long. When price is up here, I'm like, wait, what? I didn't market long. How could I have when I manually typed in the price? How could this be a market long? So all of a sudden, I'm instantly thrown into a trade. I'm like, so weird, man. And I instantly close it because I'm in a long here and price starts crashing and I lose like $400 or $500. I'm like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not my money. It's not even real money. It's fake money. But I'm like, that's odd. Jesus Christ, let me go get a coffee because something's going on here. Like, Cotton, hello, wake up. You need to be trading properly. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Make nothing of it. Time goes on. A little bit later that day, time goes on. I do the same thing. All of a sudden, I've had my coffee. I'm streaming. People are watching me live. I put a trade on the books like up here or something. And I'm like, oh, I want to short there. It happens again. I'm like, okay, dude, once, maybe I didn't get a coffee twice. This is weird. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, wow, I wish I recorded that because I need to send this to them as an error. So it's all innocent at this point. And I start sending them messages about this that same day. I'm like, okay, I think I found the first bug. I think you guys have a problem somewhere in your code. Do you mind if I take a look at your architectural diagrams? Like, and so remember, I've spent the last 3 years building software, 30 software engineers, trading software. So I'm like, okay, your project manager, like, how did you guys build your code? So I started asking them questions like, okay, how did you guys build your code? Is it white label code? So did you guys just buy exchange code? Because that could be causing these problems. Or is it custom code? And they get super like uppity about it. And they're like, no, this is all custom code. It's crazy. We built this from scratch. And I was like, okay, well, like, I don't really care. I think that's fine. Do you, baby? And it's cool. Like, but I'm kind of like suspicious at this point. I'm like, okay, well, if it's custom code, your coders are kind of shitty if these problems are happening and you guys couldn't find this on your own because I found this in a few hours. And if it's not custom code, it's white label code. I could understand why these problems would happen because they don't know what they're doing. But then just tell me it's white label code. So I can be like, oh, well, this is where your problem is. Let me help you fix it. Pinpoint it. Because that's all I was trying to do is just help them fix it. And I was like, okay, well, do you mind if I take a look at your logic flow of your architecture, like your backend architecture, your database and the architecture? I want to see what kind of net code you guys use. You guys are using probably JavaScript for your front end database, all the stuff like that, right? And so like I'm just thinking these things to myself. I'm like, okay, so like, can you send me it? And I send them that, and they're like, okay, sure. And I think they maybe hope that I forgot about it because they didn't bring it up. They didn't send anything. Anyways, a couple more days goes on. I keep mentioning this problem, and I'm like, okay, like, I haven't seen anything yet. They are kind of seeming like they're avoiding my question. Let me try to capture this. So I do. I replicate the issue and I do it again. This time I picked up on something very different because I was paying attention at first. The first couple times it happened like it actually probably happened about 6 or 7 times before I was like, I got to the next day. I'm like, okay, a couple days have gone by. I've asked them about this. They haven't sent it to me. Let me just like record it. Let me screen snap some of this stuff and let me show them proof. Cause I don't know if they're like not taking me seriously or maybe they're just busy. I don't know, but they paid me a lot of money for them to test their software. So I'm like, okay, fine, cool. They didn't actually pay me though, but because it's fake, it's not real money. They gave me monopoly money. But anyways, that's not the point. That's not the point. I keep my profits and I did pretty well. So I got paid, but I earned that pay. So it's not like they paid me. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. Anyways, I get into this next trade and I capture the trade and the same thing happens. So the first couple of things I want to point out here is these are 1 minute time frames. So let's just compare screens here. You can see you have this big accumulation candle distribution, accumulation distribution, accumulation distribution, right? So if we look at this chart up here, it's the same thing. And what we can even do is we can actually even go to a side-by-side snapshot here and we can pull this up. So let's go to a side-by-side snapshot. Let's change screens because I just want to pull this up so that people can see it's the right time frame because I don't want anybody being like, oh, but Cotton, you're not on the right time frame. So let's just quickly go over here and we're going to compare these two images. So you can see with these two images, let's move this over a little bit. Let's get this one back on the screen. You can see that these are the same time frames. Like we can match this candle here to here and it's the same timestamp too, right? Like we can see this is all the same. Like you can match this candle to this candle, this one to this one. You can see these candles here, these candles here. You can see this little curve up in the charts. So we can confirm that we're on 1 minute charts because you guys can see my trading view screen. We're on 1 minute charts. We're not on 3 minute charts or 5 minute charts. If it was on a different time frame, it would look completely different. And then we'd be looking at this. And this is just a 3 minute chart, let alone even moving up in time. So we can confirm these are 1 minute charts. Yeah, we're all in the same spot here. So great. Okay, we can confirm this is 1 minute charts and we can go back to our screen here. So I'm like, okay, we got a problem because now I'm starting to notice something alarming. And I'm gonna have to turn off my camera for this here. And I'm gonna show you guys this order. Actually, when I placed this order, it actually executed in the future. Let me repeat that again. This order executed in the future. So if you look at the timestamp on the screen, and this is where I was like, oh my God, we have a fucking code red on our hands. This is a massive issue that needs to be fixed now. I want you to look at the candle right here in the middle of your screen. You notice how it lines up with 11:20? Right? So the time was 11:20. I took note of this because I was like kind of in shock when it happened. I didn't believe that it was real. If you look at the timestamp of the trade, it's 11:22, but these are 1 minute candles that are pinned to 11:20. This order executed when I placed it. So not only was I able to replicate the issue where I put my short here because my plan was put my short here, enter my price at 55,083, hit the short button. Well, price is right here on the charts. Hit my short because I'm waiting for it to scoop back up and hit this level and hit short and enter the trade. So I enter my price 55,083. All of a sudden it enters me in one of these orders immediately. I'm like, thank God I can capture this. Now I can show them proof. Didn't think anything of it. Look down at this information down here for the first time since this starts happening. I'm like, wait a second, it's not 11:22. It's 11:20. And you can see this candle on your screen. There's a straight line that goes to 11:20 and we're on 1 minute time frame. So if it was 11:21, we'd be one candle over. And then it gets even weirder. I'm starting to spiral here a little bit. I'm like, okay, wait a second. Let me just close this trade and just think for a second, like what's happening? So then I close the trade, right? I close the trade almost immediately. It timestamps it at 11:23, 3 minutes in the future now. And then on my screen, I am now 5 minutes in the future. While I'm sitting here looking at the time in the bottom right corner of my screen, I'm like, it is 11:20. What the F is going on here? And you can see on their exchange, it's 11:20. So what happens is I enter a trade. It forces me into a market short to pay higher fees. It timestamps this. I traded this 3 minutes in the future and then adjusted my clock on the trade itself to 5 minutes in the future. But the one thing they can't hide is this time frame. They can't make up candles. So I took this screenshot and I was kind of in shock at this point. I was like, what is happening? What the am I seeing, right? And I'm sitting here kind of just like, I don't know what to say. So anyways, I'm like, okay, I got to report this to them right away. We got to fix, they got to fix this. I'm just in panic mode for my community. I'm like, holy shit, I told people to trade on this exchange. We got to get this fixed, figured out ASAP, because like, this is not going to fly with me, nor is it my community. We got to get this figured out immediately. So I took those screenshots and this is just to bring it back up on the screen here. We can just go to this view here so you guys can see. This is a full snapshot of the order. So you got 8 Bitcoin at 100x. I was forced to take $133 loss, which is obnoxious. I can't imagine if this was my real money, how angry I would be about that. And you can just confirm and validate all the information here that you're seeing on the screen here, because this is taken right off their exchange, right? So you can just confirm this here. This is alarming. This is very concerning. So at this point, I was like, okay, we have to bring this to their attention immediately. So this is where it gets interesting. I finally get them to say, because I keep complaining about this, and now I'm like, guys, you got a major problem. We need to do something about this now. Like I start kicking my feet, making a big stink about this. So I'm sitting there and now I'm like kind of reaming into them. I'm like, this needs to be fixed now. Like I'm starting to get annoyed. Like I'm starting to type in all caps at them in Discord. And so they finally are like, okay, let's get into a meeting tomorrow morning, immediately, 7 a.m. So I'm like, yeah, okay, good. Get me in a meeting with your CTO. This is where it got really messed up, everybody. And I got to tell you, I'm gonna play this recording for you, and you're gonna be shocked because the way they handled this, I am so shocked. Not only did they handle this in a very disrespectful manner for someone who was trying to help them, but then they offered to pay me out to keep quiet about it. Then they started offering me tens of thousands of dollars to just don't say anything to the community, because they got into that meeting with me and they're like, oh, just replicate this for us, show us. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. You're asking me to show these live errors so other people can exploit your exchange and potentially lose money on my live stream? You want me to do this and promote this while people lose money on my live stream? Do you really think that's a good idea for you, that you guys are telling me this? And their tone kind of changed and they were laughing about it. And I'm going to let you judge for yourself what you think about this. And I'm going to interject on some of these points of this video that I'm going to show you. And I'm just going to say, thank God I record this stuff and I record every meeting I get into, because then when I have scummy shit like this happen, it's just words unless you have proof. So let's go take a look at some of the clips of that video. And I'm going to do my best to kind of navigate through this video quickly to the important points, because it was a pretty long meeting. So I'll just like kind of chop through to certain points. So I'm going to say this. I don't think they, and this is the honest to God truth, I don't think they realized they had one of their cameras turned on, because it was pretty insulting to me that when I was bringing up these issues that are bleeding money from their users, they kind of had this like smirk on their face and undertone, and I could hear them chuckling, and they would mute their mic when they would start to laugh about something, and it came across very disingenuous, and it gave me another really eerie feeling. Like it gave me goosebumps, because I just kind of felt like, you guys know what's going on here. Like you guys are so aware of this and they're just laughing it off. Like there was a point in the video where I told them about these problems and they asked me if it was a network issue on my side. So I'm going to go to this video here now, and let's take a look at some of this. This is pretty scathing. I don't know if I should do a trigger warning for this or what I'm supposed to do here, but this is pretty scathing. Every exchange this is happening because they're using white label code or JavaScript libraries. This isn't custom built code if you're using JavaScript libraries and it's throwing UI errors. So this was the point to them where I know, well, I had just said to them, are you guys actually using custom code or is this white label code? Like, let's just get it on the table. Like I asked them for some honesty here, and that's what we're talking about. That's not custom built code, guys. If you guys are using pre-made libraries, using JavaScript, like that, of course you're going to get errors.
No, I don't think so, because the mechanism has nothing done with the library we use, because we can customize the.
But that's not custom code. If you're customizing JavaScript pre-made libraries, that's not custom code. That's you guys adjusting something that somebody else made. And now this is a point where they thought that these issues were caused by my network, and I kind of snapped at them.
Okay, so I will ask you. I will ask another questions if possible. When you trading, in our exchange, you using the website, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have network issue, or do you see some issues with the chat or the price update? Is the price frozen, or is the candle is frozen?
It happens sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, okay. Okay. The price is does the price stop updating? For example,
sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. So. Because today we just check your recently 10 orders, maybe 14 orders. Most of the orders, the limited order of your price is actually better than our current market price. That's why it's completed immediately. So as a taker.
Well, if the limit price is on the books and the price hasn't hit that yet, and I'm entering it as a limit order, it shouldn't be executing instantly as a market order.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge problem. I've had other users in my community report the same thing.
No. Because your price is better than the current market price, it should be complete.
No, it shouldn't. No, the order shouldn't complete at all. If it's better than the price and I'm putting a limit order on the books, why would it complete immediately?
Because, for example, if the current BTC price is 5,000, when you place a limited order, 6,000.
We're talking about as a short, right? Like as a short.
like the short, if the current price is 5,000,
Yep.
you place is 5,000. If you play short, if you place for example 4,000, it will be executed immediately.
And what they did immediately was that they just kind of ha ha ha, no big deal. It's like, what? Why are we laughing about this? What the actual F? So this part really annoyed me because I can hear them laughing, I can hear them chuckling, I can hear them making snide little remarks like, oh, haha, okay, you know, okay, haha. I want everybody to listen to this. And remember, everybody listening to this, money might not be on this exchange, but it's on exchanges just like this. So imagine if this was your money, and this isn't my money either, but I get annoyed for the people I protect, like my community. So listen to this. Of course, but that's not what's happening. Let's say the price is 5,000. And I put a short at 6,000 as a short, it executes immediately as a market order and doesn't put my order on the books at 6,000 as a short. That's the problem. Like listen, you're talking to someone who's been trading 100x futures for 7 years. I know how it works. You don't have to explain longs and shorts to me. You just need to listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, like if I place a short at $6,000 and the price is at 5,000, it's not putting the price at 6,000 as a short. It's executing it immediately as a market order.
Okay, so you know the mechanism. Okay, but from the
and I want to show you guys when I'm looking on the camera, I want to show you guys their smirks on their face and what I'm seeing in my camera as they're answering this, chuckling about, okay, haha, you know the price then. Yeah, I know the mechanics of the system. I've been doing this longer than you have. So, well, I don't know that for sure, but anyways, not the point. But like, I'm going to go and show you what I'm seeing on my screen as they're talking about this. Okay, let's go check this.
Okay, so you know the mechanism. Okay, but from the
right there, look at the smirk. Look at the actual smirk that this guy is having, and this kept happening. His name is Sheng, it kept happening. A smirk kept crawling up his face every time his partner's here. What's this guy's name? They call him Vic. That was his name. And Saldo Evans. And who else is in this meeting? What was this other person's name? Zhusheng Wu. So you can see the way that they're taking this information and how serious they actually feel. And this was happening the whole meeting. It was full on smiles, laughs. I saw them having these big grins when I was done ripping into them about something. They'd get a big grin on their face, and then I saw them typing away to each other. Like, I'm not stupid. I know exactly what's happening.
Is the thing I'm talking about. So your price is better than the market price. That's why it will be executed.
No, that's because you guys have errors. That's not what's happening on the UI. I'm telling you, that's not what's happening on the UI.
Okay. So yes, so if our UI really have this problem, we should resolve. Yeah, we should resolve. So
I'm not the only one who's reporting this either. I have other people in my community reporting the same thing happening to them.
Okay, that's the weird thing. Because most of other users doesn't have the issues. So
of course, most of your other users don't have this issue. You guys don't have any users, number one. Number two, it's so funny that me and all of my community are seeing the same problem happening, and you're not taking it seriously, and you're laughing about it and chuckling about it and sitting there saying like, oh, aha, nobody else is reporting this. You're the first, Cotton. Oh, must be something on your end. Must be network issues. Yeah, your information responding timestamps in the future is my network issue. I don't think so. And so here's where I start asking. This is where I'm starting to get like, okay, well, like you guys clearly aren't paying attention. Let me take a look at your architecture, your logic flow of your software, the way you apparently have said you custom built this code. Let me take a look at your architecture. And this is where I start asking those questions.
Mechanism, and we have answered the question.
Like, do you guys have, sorry to interrupt, Sheng, but do you guys have like your architecture diagram so I can take a look at how you guys made this thing? Like, do you have your diagrams from your project manager of like how the architecture of this was built?
I don't think architecture will help.
Of course it would help. Yeah, of course it would help. It would be able to pinpoint exactly where your issue is happening. You guys should have architectural diagrams of the way your exchange is built. Like, you got to understand, I developed trading software. I have years and years and years of experience developing trading software. I have 30 employees helping me build something called Chart Raiders. I know the tech side very well.
Okay, so you can see the mechanism is right. So
for sure. So like just without, okay, but do you guys have architectural diagrams? Like, do you have your software architecture? Do you have the diagrams of how the logic flow works? Notice how they're continuously skating this question. And I'm looking at my screen right now and I'm watching as they smirk every time I ask this question. That was a huge, huge one for me. I'm watching them smirk. I'm watching little smiles form in their eyes every time they skirt this question, every time they ice skate around me saying, hey, do you have architectural diagrams or no? Hey, do you have these or no?
But the backend architecture diagram won't help.
For sure it will. It'll show me exactly how you're placing your orders in the logic. So like this is where it gets really annoying again. They keep talking about it being network issues. Like this is some garbage that you get when you go to Microsoft's help desk. Check your network and hard boot your modem and then maybe your computer will turn on. Like what the are you asking me about network issues for when I'm telling you about a scathing issue? They keep skating these questions. They keep laughing as I'm watching on my screen. I keep seeing smiles every time they say that. I keep seeing them typing back and forth. And I just don't think they realize they had their cameras on. And they keep saying, oh, this is why it's network issues. Just continue to listen. It starts to get really good soon.
The status of the K-line, and the network issues. So
it's not. If you're talking about network issues on my end, it's not network issues. I'm live streaming at 4K on a 1 gigabyte band server with a backup server. I don't have network issues. I'm a full-time streamer. I don't have network issues.
Yes. Okay. So if you can
I think we can process it in this way since coach knows our mechanism and we have answered the question.
Like, do you guys have? Sorry to interrupt, Sheng, but do you guys have like your architecture diagrams so I can take a look at how you guys made this thing? Like, do you have your diagrams from your project manager of like how the architecture of this was built?
I don't think architecture will help.
Of course it would help. Yeah, of course it would help. It would be able to pinpoint exactly where your issue is happening. You guys should have architectural diagrams of the way your exchange is built. Like, you got to understand, I develop trading software. I have years and years and years of experience developing trading software. I have 30 employees helping me build something called Chart Raiders. I know the tech side very well.
Okay, so you can see the mechanism is right. So
for sure. So like just without, okay, but do you guys have architectural diagrams? Like another time where I ask for the diagrams because I just want to see the logic flow of their code. Hey, do you have diagrams? They skirt the questions. Oh, I don't think it's this. I think it's a network issue. Okay, dude. Do you have your software architecture? Do you have the diagrams of how the logic flow works?
But the backend architecture diagram won't help.
For sure it will. It'll show me exactly how you're placing your orders in the logic flow of your entire system. Of course it would help. But do you have those or no?
Actually, we have, but we cannot show. Actually,
why not?
Because it's a policy.
It shouldn't be a policy. This is very standard practice. This is standard. This would be actually accessible from your public GitHub. So yeah, it's not policy of any company I've ever worked with to not share architectural diagrams for quality control. This should be publicly accessible.
So I'm sorry, Cotton. If the issue exists, the issue should be in the front end, not.
I want you to see their faces as I say this. I'm going to rewind a few seconds here. I want you to see their faces as I'm asking them this. For quality control, this should be publicly accessible.
So I'm sorry, Cotton. If the issue exists, the issue should be in the front end, not in the.
It wouldn't. No, not necessarily. Not if it's an error with your guys' code because you guys didn't build it right. Absolutely not.
No, I don't think so.
You know what that face looks like to me? That face looks like fucking guilt.
Because if this issue exists, most of the people will have these issues, right?
So you're telling me that you're using Java netcode, which is part of your backend, and you're telling me that's what causes your front end issues. Probably most of them is Java backend code, not using proper netcode like gRPC or something that should be used for netcode in this case. So this would absolutely be a part of your backend system design. Now, this is where it gets a little funny because I referenced gRPC, but gRPC can't actually be called from a browser. It's just only HTTP requests, HTTP2 requests. So I just kind of wanted to throw this out there to see what they would. It was almost like a hidden test. I wanted to see if their CTO would kick back on me saying, well, how could we use gRPC? So it's almost like a 2-in-1 kind of hitter on this question, just for any tech heads out there who want to say like, okay, but you couldn't use gRPC. I know that. I said this to them so that they can get hit with a kickback on me so I can be like, oh, okay, so you guys do know what you're talking about. And this is actually should be requestable by any of your investors, anybody who's either a Reg D investor, anybody who's doing compliance for your company, this would be publicly accessible upon request. So you guys should absolutely be able to produce these documents if anybody requests it. Because this is not only compliance, this is Reg D, this is also Reg A and C as well as it should be in your GitHub, because these are typically publicly accessible.
I don't think the backend code should be posted in the GitHub.
Well, you guys should have code that you publish in your GitHub so it can be audited by the public, of course. This is standard practice. What do you mean? Do you guys not publish your code on GitHub?
No, we are not open source, actually.
Well, it doesn't have to be open. My company's not open source either, but we still publish for authenticity.
Okay. Yes.
This is standard practice. Like,
code from my side, I receive your request, and I will talk with Vic and some of other co-founders. We will organize your order, review them all again, and meanwhile, we will give you the funds for you to trade, and maybe you can.
You guys got to understand, I'm trying to help you fix this issue. I have a software company that we create trading software. So like I'm a friend here for you guys. Like you guys should be taking this seriously. Like
we trust in this.
Letting me take a look at your architecture should be no big deal, because your architecture would be identical to Binance's, to BitGet's, to MEXC's. Taking a look at architecture on an exchange is not a big request. I could go and Google Binance backend architecture and find it on spot. Like this is not something that should be hidden behind policy unless it truly wasn't custom coded. It should just be producible on the spot. Like you guys should be looking at your architecture on a regular basis. Like I'm not sure why there's kickback on this architecture request. And at this point, you can see how much they're skating these questions and laughing and looking at their faces. And then they end this conversation here. Thank you, Cotton, for your contributions. Like the whole thing was a joke. And then you're going to see some really crazy stuff coming up too. Listen to this last little snippet here before we move on. Hidden behind policy unless it truly wasn't custom coded. It should just be producible on the spot. Like you guys should be looking at your architecture on a regular basis. Like I'm not sure why there's kickback on this architecture request.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, Cotton. Your suggestion is very good. It's very great, I think. And
architecture request. Look at their faces as they try to wrap this up and skate around it. I want you to pay attention to their faces here. Look at this. Regular basis. Like I'm not sure why there's kickback on this architecture request.
Okay, I understand. Thank you, Cotton. Your suggestion is very good. It's very great, I think. And because you have a good engineering background, but I think the most effective way.
Now tell me what you think about this exchange after seeing that. We're not done. I'm going to show them the proof, and you're going to hear how quick their tempo changes, and then how fast they're offering me money to not talk about this stuff in the public eye. You're going to see a real fucking drama hit here. Hold up, we're just starting. Here's the next little gem. When their tone all of a sudden changes because they realize I have proof of what they're doing. They sit here and they laugh all meeting. They sit here and they make jokes. They say it's network issues, Cotton. Then I drop the proof on them. Then I show them the screenshots. Then they start offering me money to not talk about this. And I'm going to show that too. So let's just go and take a little look at what actually happened here. You have orders executing in the wrong timestamps. So this is like pretty critical errors. So you can see here, this order executed at 11:22:54, right?
Yeah.
This order was one of the orders that I placed and it instantly executed, but you can see the timestamp is 17:20. So this executed off of you guys have a major problem with your code. Look at the timestamp. This is 11:22:54. The current time on this candle is 11:20. This executed 2 minutes in the future as a market order when I placed a limit order up here. I placed a limit order up here, and this executed 2 minutes in the future. This is a major flaw in your code. How can this order be executed in the future when the timestamp is a 1 minute candle on 17:20?
Let me see, 17:20.
But the order is executing in the future. So I ordered a short up here. I executed a short right here. And it executes right now, timestamps it 3 minutes into the future almost, or 2 minutes into the future.
Let me see.
There's a lot of skeletons you guys have in your code. That's why I'm asking for the architecture, because there's something very wrong that whoever made this did.
Can you show me the order ID?
Notice how quick their tone changes when I have proof. Notice how quick all of a sudden, instead of laughing, it's a network issue. Oh, can we please see the order ID? Instantly, they want to know, where's this order ID? Let us pinpoint it. Let us damage control. Let us do PR. Let's put PR on this. Let's go find a reason why we can make another excuse. What's the order ID, Cotton? Let's keep listening.
This order, can you?
I have to bring it up on the exchange. I just snapshotted this to. I don't think I captured the order ID here. I'd have to look on my order history for this, or you guys can look. You can see this here. You guys can see where this order executed at 11:22. This was one of those orders that I placed as a short up in here and up in here. It executed immediately, but in the future with the wrong timestamp. So this isn't a Java error, because a Java error, what you're talking about, trying to say these are Java and network errors, this would not, if this was a Java and network error, this would not capture data, put it into your Excel sheets to transfer to AWS or whatever you guys are using for your transfer of data. This would not capture this data, execute it in your backend, and then also put it on the books if this was a UI error. That's impossible. Because this is backend data that's being reflected to me as a user. So this is not a UI error. This is a backend code error. So you guys have some major issues with that. Notice how it just went so quiet and the tone changes so quickly. All of a sudden, everybody's paying attention and listening, and all of a sudden, Cotton's not so crazy anymore.
Sorry, let me take another screenshot.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Let me.
Can you switch? Oh,
yep.
Can you share again?
Yep. Give me 1 second. Listen to how immediately the temperature in the room changes. Listen to how quickly they want to get this information. All of a sudden, we're not smiling anymore. All of a sudden, we're not laughing because our hands got caught in the cookie jar and somebody has proof of what we're doing. Look at how quick everything changed. You can hear a goddamn pin drop in this conversation at this point. Listen to this.
Another tab. Right?
This one?
Yes, selecting switch. Yes, okay.
The panic in their voice.
I will check later about this. Okay, done.
Like that's why I'm saying, like, you guys should not have a problem sharing your architecture at this point, because this is bad. This is bad if you guys are having these kind of errors.
Before talking about the architecture, and we need to more clearly understand the issues. So
now all of a sudden we're talking about, before we can give you the architecture, now the architecture is back on the table. Now all of a sudden we're paying attention. Now all of a sudden we're listening. Remember, this is where people put their money. This is the people who are running these exchanges. Look at the way they responded to somebody as high up as me, who has all the power in the world to make my voice heard and who will use that power. Look at the way they respond to me. How do you think they treat normal people? How do you think? All right, so now we've gone through the entire video where it was pretty much just a mess. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I felt punched in the gut when this happened, and I felt extremely disregarded when I brought this to their attention. They had zero regard, showed zero emotion. There was no remorse or care for their users. There was no vulnerability. There was nothing but laughs and jokes and things where, hey, we're costing innocent people money. That's hilarious. Maybe people should check their network issues. And I'm going to leave everybody off here, you guys and girls off, with the final messages that I shared with them in Discord and where I took my stance with them as they offered me a substantial amount of money to not talk about this. So I'm just going to share that image with everybody here, get it on the screen, because I just want to show everybody how I ended this off and to leave everybody with understanding what actually happened here and what transpired. And I'm gonna read this out loud for people so that you can just kind of sit here and either look at this and read it or just listen to me talk about it here. So I won't miss another day streaming over this and constantly hurt my reputation. Shang, I will pull my community from BitUnix, as I will always hold them first above myself. I'm telling the world what happened here, as you think using my name to promote your exchange is a joke. I will start publishing videos on what I found about BitUnix and show the proof of the demons that lay in your exchange to the world. I found a lot more that I'm willing to share with the world if you think this is a joke and won't take it seriously. If you think constantly lying in your communication and trying to think that money will hide the truth, then you're in for a shock. Yesterday was beyond disrespectful. I brought up major flaws in your exchange that is stealing money from people, and you had your CTO ask me if I had network issues and then tried to explain to me the way market orders work while giggling in the background about a serious problem that is stealing money from users. I'm glad I record all my meetings so I can share this as well in my YouTube videos with all the other things that I found. It's not a joke, man. To think you guys can have errors which cost people money and then not take it seriously is disgusting. You're offering me money to pay me off and buy me out while laughing behind the scenes that people are losing money is so fucked up, it's not even funny. You guys are an exchange that makes tons of money off people's fees. It's not a joke when your guys' errors and code are costing innocent people money. I won't be a part of your game, nor will I sell out for money to protect you guys. If you think I care about money, then you don't know me. You offer me tens of thousands of dollars to turn a blind eye and think I won't turn over, and that I won't out the truth over money. I'm disappointed in you and BitNix, and I won't forget this as Chartrators launches and the world finds out the truth about BitUnix. And then Shang responds, Cotton, to be honest, this also hurts me. That's where my pressure comes from. We never hide anything, and we have worked with other top names who have over 1 million users sign up, and they never report issues like this. That's why I said we'll refund 10K and pause the partnership until we identify the issues. It's too late. I'm exposing you guys. I've already warned you. They think they can pay me off. They think they can buy me. They think they can offer me tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to turn blind eye to this and dangle contracts in front of my face. You know what? For most influencers, that would work. And I think there's something really important to talk about in this message that is critically scathing to our industry and a linchpin to and a massive undertone not only in our community but also in this video. When you start piecing things together, there's something really specific he says here. We have worked with other top names and we have over 1 million users sign up. Let's just think about this for a second. We have worked with other top names and have over 1 million users sign up, and they never reported issues like this. You know what that means? That means they are successfully paying out and buying other influencers. They are successfully saying, hide the truth that you find to other people, because if I found this and my community found this in 1 to 2 days of using their exchange, there is nothing you can tell me that if you have millions of other signups, over 1 million signed up users with other top names who promote this, that nobody's reported this, that this is only, somehow magically, I'm the first person to see this problem. And then magically when this problem exists, all of a sudden we have laughing from the CTO. We have, we can't produce architecture diagrams. It's against our policy. What are you, fucking 7-Eleven? It's against our policy. You don't let cell phones in the store. Suck my dick. Then kick me out, motherfucker. Like, what do you mean policy, dude? This isn't policy. This is your people up at the top, your management, your owners saying like,
oh, just say it's policy, haha.
Policy doesn't mean nothing. Policy is not law. Wait until people knock on your door and say, hey, where's your compliance documents? Oh, we have a policy we're not going to show you. Okay, haha, joke's on you. You're not operating anymore, says the government, says whoever goes after them. This is so concerning to me that there are people out there. I won't be part of your game. And I tell them this. We have over 1 million users sign up from other top names. Think about that for a second. This is a scathing fucking problem in the industry. This is where we have influencers who sell their souls for an affiliate payout, for paychecks, to hide things. I refuse to play that game. I always have, and I always will tell the truth about this stuff, about everything. I built my whole career on this, and I just left this off with, it's too late. I'm exposing you guys. I've already warned my users and are outing you on stream. You fucked with the wrong person, Shane. We never did anything wrong. Okay, dude, die on that hill as your exchange goes under. We embrace the feedbacks. Yep, you embrace it really well by laughing at people who are losing money. We provide good service to our users and partners. Yeah, you get on the line and instantly offer them payouts and dangle tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in their face to shut up and not say anything. And then they say yes, and it causes more cancer in the industry and like decay in a tooth that erodes and eventually it's dead. No worries, I'll link you to YouTube. Good luck with your white label exchange. Don't ever come crawling back to me again. I need everybody to take this seriously. I need people to spread this video. I need the word to be spread on this, because I will not stand for exchanges taking advantage of people like this. I will not stand. I don't care if it's $10 you lose. I will not stand for people, innocent fucking people, losing money from exchanges who are greedily taking and laughing when people like me bring it up. I'm a big name in this industry, and if they laugh at me, imagine what they're doing with your money. Share this video. Do not disappoint me on this one. Later, everyone.